Welcome to Chef Mariam's RasMalai recipe. Here, you will find a variety of delicious and authentic recipes from around the world. One of my personal favorites is RasMalai, a traditional dessert from the Indian subcontinent. RasMalai consists of soft, spongy cheese balls soaked in a sweetened milk syrup flavored with cardamom and saffron. To make this delicious dessert, start by preparing the cheese balls. Mix together fresh paneer, a type of Indian cheese, flour, and baking powder to form a soft dough. Divide the dough into small balls and flatten them slightly. Next, prepare the syrup. In a large pot, combine milk, sugar, cardamom, and saffron and bring the mixture to a boil. Add the cheese balls to the pot and simmer for about 15 minutes, or until the cheese balls have expanded and become soft and spongy. Once the cheese balls are cooked, remove them from the syrup and set them aside. Strain the syrup to remove any solids and return it to the pot. Bring the syrup to a boil again and add a few drops of rose water for extra flavor. To serve, place the cheese balls in a shallow dish and pour the syrup over them. Garnish with chopped pistachios and serve chilled. RasMalai is a beloved dessert in many South Asian countries, and for good reason. Its delicate texture and rich, sweet flavor make it the perfect way to end any meal. Plus, it's a great dessert to serve at large gatherings or parties since it can be made in advance and refrigerated until ready to serve. So next time you're in the mood for a sweet treat, give RasMalai a try. And don't forget to return to Chef Mariam's website for more delicious recipes from around the world. Introduction. RasMalai is a delicious and popular dessert from the Indian subcontinent that has gained popularity all around the world. Here are 5 key points to introduce RasMalai. Origin. RasMalai is believed to have originated in the eastern Indian state of West Bengal, where it is a popular dessert. It is also widely enjoyed in other parts of India, as well as in Pakistan, Bangladesh, and other South Asian countries. Ingredients. The main ingredients in RasMalai are paneer, a type of Indian cheese, milk, sugar, cardamom, saffron, and rose water. Some variations also include nuts such as pistachios and almonds. Preparation. To make RasMalai, small balls of paneer are cooked in a sweetened milk syrup flavored with cardamom, saffron, and rose water. The cheese balls become soft and spongy as they cook and absorb the sweet syrup. Serving. RasMalai is typically served chilled, and is often garnished with chopped nuts such as pistachios. It is a popular dessert for special occasions and is often served at weddings, festivals, and other celebrations. Popularity. RasMalai has gained popularity all around the world and is now enjoyed by people from many different cultures. Its unique texture and rich flavor have made it a favorite dessert among many, and it is often featured on the menus of Indian and South Asian restaurants. RasMalai recipe. Chef Mariam. RasMalai is a traditional dessert that originates from the Indian subcontinent. This delicate and creamy dessert is made from soft, spongy cheese balls soaked in sweetened, flavored milk syrup. RasMalai is a beloved dessert in many South Asian countries and has gained popularity all around the world. Here is a complete recipe for RasMalai that you can make in your own kitchen, courtesy of Chef Mariam's food blog. Ingredients. For the cheese balls. 2 liters of full-fat milk. 3 tablespoons lemon juice. 1 teaspoon flour. 1 teaspoon semolina. 1 teaspoon baking powder. For the syrup. 2 liters of full-fat milk. 2 cups sugar. 3 to 4 green cardamom pods, crushed. A few strands of saffron. 1 teaspoon rose water. Chopped pistachios for garnish. Instructions. Start by preparing the cheese balls. Once the milk has boiled, add the lemon juice and stir gently until the milk curdles and separates into curds and whey. Pour the curdled milk through a cheesecloth or a fine mesh strainer to separate the curds from the whey. Place the curds in a clean cloth and squeeze out the excess liquid. Hang the cloth over a bowl or a sink for about an hour to allow any remaining liquid to drain out. After an hour, transfer the cheese to a mixing bowl and knead it for a few minutes until it is smooth and free of lumps. Add the flour, semolina, and baking powder to the cheese and mix well to form a smooth dough. Divide the dough into small balls and flatten them slightly. Make sure that the cheese balls are not too big, as they will expand in the syrup. In a large pot, combine the milk, sugar, cardamom, and saffron and bring the mixture to a boil. Stir continuously to prevent the milk from sticking to the bottom of the pot. Add the cheese balls to the pot and simmer for about 15 minutes, or until the cheese balls have expanded and become soft and spongy. Once the cheese balls are cooked, remove them from the syrup and set them aside. Strain the syrup to remove any solids and return them to the pot. Bring the syrup to a boil again and add a few drops of rose water for extra flavor. To serve, place the cheese balls in a shallow dish and pour the syrup over them. Garnish with chopped pistachios and serve chilled. Tips and variations. For a more decadent version of RasMalai, you can add condensed milk to the syrup instead of sugar. This will give the dessert a richer, creamier flavor. You can also add chopped nuts such as almonds and pistachios to the cheese balls for added texture and flavor. If you don't have saffron, you can use a pinch of turmeric powder to give the syrup a yellow color. In conclusion, RasMalai is a delicious and delicate dessert that is perfect for any occasion. With this recipe from Chef Mariam's food blog, you can now make this traditional dessert in your own kitchen and impress your friends and family with your culinary skills. So go ahead and try this recipe, and don't forget to let us know how it turns out. RasMalai. Chef Mariam's special information. Chef Mariam's special take on RasMalai involves adding a few extra ingredients to the syrup to give it a unique and delightful flavor. Here are some special tips from Chef Mariam for making the perfect RasMalai. Add a dash of cinnamon. Instead of using only cardamom to flavor the syrup, Chef Mariam likes to add a small amount of ground cinnamon to the mix. The cinnamon adds a warm and spicy flavor to the syrup, which complements the sweetness of the cheese balls perfectly. Use pure rose water. When adding rose water to the syrup, Chef Mariam recommends using pure rose water rather than the artificially flavored variety. Pure rose water has a more delicate and natural flavor that enhances the overall taste of the dessert. Soak the cheese balls for longer. To ensure that the cheese balls are fully infused with the syrup's flavors, Chef Mariam recommends leaving them in the syrup for a longer period. Instead of simmering them for 15 minutes, she suggests leaving them in the syrup for at least half an hour, or even overnight in the refrigerator. Use a mix of milk and cream. For a richer and creamier texture, Chef Mariam suggests using a mix of milk and cream in the syrup. The cream adds a luscious and silky texture to the syrup, which makes the dessert even more indulgent. Serve with fresh fruits. To add a touch of freshness and balance out the sweetness of the dessert, Chef Mariam likes to serve RasMalai with fresh fruits such as sliced strawberries or mangoes. The fruits add a lovely pop of color and flavor to the dish and make it a more well-rounded dessert. With these tips and tricks from Chef Mariam, you can take your RasMalai to the next level and create a dessert that is truly special and memorable. So go ahead and try out these tips, and see how they elevate the flavors and textures of this beloved dessert.